It is 3 a.m. You are staring blankly at the ceiling. You just made the mistake of checking your banking app, and now that familiar, suffocating weight has settled right in the middle of your chest. Another credit card statement. Another month where the math simply refuses to add up. Society conditions us to believe a very specific narrative about this moment, that struggling with consumer debt is a personal failure of discipline, math skills, or basic willpower. This focus on personal willpower overlooks a critical reality. Your brain is currently under a sophisticated, multi-billion-dollar biological attack. The modern financial system is a psychological matrix meticulously designed to exploit millions of years of human evolution. To find a way out, we have to decode exactly how it hijacked your mind. This fMRI scan reveals humanity's evolutionary braking system. When neuroscientists monitor people buying items with physical cash, the insula, the exact same part of the brain that registers physical pain, lights up with activity. Handing over a crisp $20 bill is literally processed as an injury. To bypass that biological brake, the financial industry invented the credit card. This piece of plastic successfully severed the physical connection between making a purchase and the biological pain of losing resources. Modern systems have perfected this hack. With Apple Pay, one-click purchasing, and buy now, pay later programs, companies have engineered frictionless spending, removing the physical act of payment to ensure the insula never fires. This chart shows the result. The red line of physical pain flatlines, while the anticipation of a new purchase floods the brain with dopamine. You experience a neurochemical high completely disconnected from the actual loss of your hard-earned resources. Swiping a card has been transformed into pulling the lever on a rigged slot machine. The system provides an immediate dopamine spike while delaying the pain for 30 days, ensuring the house always wins. Constant financial stress acts like a heavy background program, draining your cognitive bandwidth and mental energy. Researchers found this worry temporarily drops a person's effective IQ by 13 points, the cognitive equivalent of functioning while legally intoxicated. This creates a state of tunneling. Like facing a jungle predator, your brain enters absolute survival mode, narrowing your focus entirely on the immediate threat. Tunneling explains why people in debt often take out payday loans with 400% interest rates. From the outside, it looks illogical, but to a tunneling brain, it's a perfectly functional survival mechanism. These disastrous loans are symptoms of a compromised command center. The systemic stress has effectively hijacked the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for logical, long-term planning. This biological stress often builds upon a childhood emotional blueprint. Watching parents argue over bills or put items back at the grocery store leaves a lasting psychological scar, a profound fear of scarcity that haunts adulthood. We often use credit cards to overcompensate for this past, purchasing the illusion of safety and abundance to soothe a scared inner child. Today, that trauma meets a hyper-consumerist internet. Algorithms curate a version of reality where everyone seems to be thriving, though a staggering number of those lifestyle photos are actually funded by invisible, crippling debt. For our ancestors, social rejection meant exile and death. Consequently, your brain is biologically hardwired to prioritize immediate social status over abstract concepts like retirement. When you see peers dining at expensive restaurants, your brain perceives a dangerous drop in social standing. This urge to spend is a desperate evolutionary bid for belonging that often bankrupts your actual reality. As the debt spiral tightens, guilt transforms into shame. While guilt is an acknowledgement of a bad decision, shame tells you that you are a bad person, a complete failure. To cope with this crushing humiliation, many engage in revenge spending. Buying an expensive item you cannot afford provides a brief, fragile illusion of control over a life that feels increasingly suffocating. This shame eventually triggers the Ostrich Effect, a subconscious defense mechanism of willful blindness to protect you from severe psychological pain. Your brain assumes that if you refuse to look at the balance or open the envelope, the financial disaster isn't entirely real yet. This blindness leads to financial infidelity, where people secretly open accounts or hide shopping bags to avoid judgment. You end up lying to the very person who is supposed to be your teammate. The true lead of the debt trap is the agonizing, suffocating isolation of fighting a terrifying financial war entirely by yourself. Because debt is an emotional and behavioral trap, the escape route must also be behavioral. A mathematically perfect plan often fails because it ignores how our brains actually process rewards. Traditional advice suggests the debt avalanche, targeting the highest interest rates first. This makes mathematical sense, but it offers zero immediate emotional reward, often leading to burnout. Behavioral psychologists instead recommend the debt snowball. This method ignores interest rates to target the absolute smallest balance first, creating a clear path of approachable victories. Paying off a tiny medical bill in weeks triggers a massive hit of dopamine. This time, the reward system is hijacked to destroy debt, building momentum for larger battles. Success requires reintroducing physical friction to your life, like deleting credit cards from autofill settings, to give your logical brain time to override impulsive survival mechanisms. To stop the cycle of avoidance, you must dismantle the shame that makes you look away. This begins with radical self-forgiveness, acknowledging that you fell into a hole meticulously dug by billionaires and behavioral scientists. Dropping that shame allows you to finally take your head out of the sand. Opening your banking app is like turning on a light switch in a pitch-black room. The problem is still there, but you can finally see its exact shape and size, which strips away its power. Debt is a temporary mathematical state, not a reflection of your fundamental human worth. By understanding the programming of the system, you can finally begin the work of taking your beautiful mind back.